What if Hollywood's quietest superstar harbors a lifetime of heartbreak beyond anything we've seen on screen? Keanu Reeves, celebrated for explosive stunts and otherworldly sci-fi epics, has endured a barrage of personal tragedies, from a fractured childhood to devastating romantic losses, that might have derailed anyone else. Somehow he always returns, stronger, kinder, and wrapped in an elusive calm that fuels even more curiosity. Today we're peeling back the layers of a life shaped by turbulence and resilience, revealing why this unassuming megastar's soft-spoken demeanor hides a story more gripping than any blockbuster. Keanu Charles Reeves was born on September 2, 1964, in Beirut, Lebanon, to a mother hailing from England and a father with Hawaiian Chinese ancestry. His name, Keanu, translates to cool breeze over the mountains, an almost poetic hint at the stoic composure that would later define him. But life at the start was anything but cool or breezy. His father, Samuel Reeves, wrestled with personal demons, including run-ins with the law for alleged drug-related offenses. By the time Keanu was 2, his parents had divorced. After that, his father virtually vanished. With her ex-husband out of the picture, Keanu's mother, Patricia Taylor, found herself navigating life through a succession of marriages that crisscrossed the globe. She'd been a costume designer, a career that demanded frequent travel and quick relocations. Keanu, along with his younger sister Kim, followed her from Sydney to New York, then finally to Toronto. Each new city meant a new set of rules, new classmates, and a new lifestyle. Always the outsiders, the Reeves children rarely had a chance to settle before packing up again. In Toronto, Keanu faced another challenge: dyslexia. Even simple reading assignments became monumental tasks. He cycled through 4 different high schools in a span of 5 years. One of them eventually expelled him after he clashed with strict academic requirements. Traditional education bored him and felt too restrictive. Real learning, in his eyes, happened outside the rigidity of the classroom, on ice rinks and film sets, anywhere there was a shot at genuine expression. Toronto provided one crucial anchor: hockey. For a time, Keanu channeled all his energy into the sport, playing as a goaltender with considerable talent. Locals whispered that he might even earn a spot in the Ontario Hockey League, a stepping stone to professional opportunities. But one severe injury put that dream on ice, forcing him to reconsider everything. No longer able to chase a hockey career, Keanu gradually realized his true calling might be acting. He dipped his toes into commercials, notably a Coca-Cola spot, and TV series like Hanging In, plus a small gig as a young correspondent for a Canadian youth show. He also tried his hand at theater, tackling a part in Romeo and Juliet on a North York stage, quite a departure from the rough-and-tumble world of hockey. Though the pay was minimal and the audience modest, his hunger to perform grew. Deciding that conventional schooling stood in his way, he dropped out of high school altogether, wagering his future on the hope that cameras and scripts could offer what the classroom could not. Hollywood was daunting, and early on, Keanu toyed with the idea of changing his name. He feared the unique cadence of Keanu Reeves might prevent him from landing roles in an industry that sometimes insisted on simpler, more marketable stage names. Ultimately, he chose authenticity over comfort. In hindsight, that choice hints at the stubborn independence he would show whenever the business tried to box him in. Keanu's early dramatic work earned him critical nods, but hadn't yet catapulted him to mainstream fame. That changed in 1986 with River's Edge, a brooding ensemble piece about teens grappling with an unspeakable crime. Keanu's subtle, reflective portrayal suggested something deeper lurking behind his seemingly laid-back demeanor. The next couple of years brought Permanent Record, another emotionally charged film in which he played a teen grappling with a friend's decision to off himself. These roles proved he could tackle weighty themes with honesty. But in 1989, the universe flipped him into a very different spotlight with Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. As Ted Theodore Logan, he exuded goofy charm, spouting excellent, and whoa, while time-hopping to finish a history project. The movie's sleeper success caught Hollywood off guard, yielding a sequel, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, and even an animated series. Virtually overnight, Keanu's face became synonymous with teenage slacker vibes, opening doors, and simultaneously pigeonholing him. Many producers and directors started seeing only Ted, doubting whether Keanu could transition to serious or action-heavy roles. A lesser personality might have been resigned to coasting on comedic typecasting, but Keanu was already bracing for the next leap. That leap arrived via surfboards and skydiving in 1991's Point Break, where Keanu donned an FBI badge to infiltrate a crew of surfing bank robbers. The film's breathtaking stunts and Johnny Utah's moral tug-of-war showed critics that Keanu could anchor high-octane storytelling. The box office rewards confirmed he wasn't just a one-note comedic actor. Then came 1994's Speed, catapulting him into action hero territory. As Jack Traven, he attempted to save a city bus rigged to explode if its speed fell below 50 miles per hour. The premise was simple, but the tension never let up. Audiences devoured the film, which raked in over $350 million globally. Keanu was now recognized as a legitimate star, someone who could sell tickets and carry a film on his shoulders. When a sequel, Speed 2: Cruise Control, surfaced, Keanu famously turned it down, leaving a massive paycheck on the table. Rumors flared that he wanted to tour with his band, Dogstar, while others believed he was simply uninterested in reprising a role that felt like a retread. Either way, the choice underscored his taste for offbeat risks. He then ventured into mid-90s projects that failed to connect at the box office, Johnny Mnemonic and Chain Reaction, feeding skeptic claims that he was an inconsistent gamble for studios. Yet 1999 washed those doubts away with The Matrix. As Neo, he embraced a world of philosophical riddles and groundbreaking special effects. Bullet time sequences, black trench coats, and mind-bending illusions turned the film into an era-defining phenomenon. Keanu's understated manner proved the perfect vessel for a hero who was part blank slate, part messiah figure. With that single role, he etched himself into pop culture history. Beneath the growing fame, Keanu's personal life took starkly tragic turns. He'd forged a profound bond with River Phoenix after My Own Private Idaho, 1991, seeing in River a kindred spirit who shared a taste for unconventional roles. Their friendship came to a sudden, devastating end in 1993, when River OD'd outside the Viper Room in Los Angeles. Keanu rarely discussed it, but the weight of that trauma lingered, leaving a visible imprint on his usually serene face. In 1999, Keanu and girlfriend Jennifer Syme were thrilled about the upcoming birth of their daughter, Ava, but the baby arrived stillborn. The loss appended both parents, driving a wedge that eventually led to their separation. Just when their lives seemed on the brink of healing, Jennifer died in a car crash in 2001. Keanu served as a pallbearer, publicly stoic but profoundly heartbroken. The combination of these losses, best friend, child, and partner, would have shattered many, yet Keanu navigated his grief in silence, seldom opening up about the toll it took. During these same years, his sister Kim battled leukemia. He halted projects to care for her, ensuring she had emotional and financial support. By 2001, Kim went into remission, but her fight spurred Keanu to quietly fund cancer research and children's hospitals. He formed a private charitable foundation, refusing to attach his name so as not to appear self-serving. For Keanu, kindness was best practiced when nobody was watching. By the early 2010s, Keanu's star power seemed to have faded. Studios had new action favorites, and critics wondered if his career might slowly fizzle out. John Wick, 2014, flipped that script overnight. Playing a retired assassin fueled by rage at the theft of his car and the loss of a beloved dog, Keanu radiated lethal calm. The film's hand-to-hand combat and stark underworld drew audiences in. Critics praised the intricate world-building and Keanu's riveting physical performance. More than mere revenge fantasy, John Wick resonated as a personal story, man versus grief, rather than just man versus criminals. Each sequel, John Wick, Chapter 2, Chapter 3 Parabellum, and Chapter 4, grew bigger and bolder. Keanu's training regimen reportedly took him through months of martial arts, firearms drills, and punishing stunt work. Stories circulated of him performing up to 90% of the action himself, an extraordinary feat for any actor. The franchise ballooned, hitting over $400 million with the fourth installment. Suddenly, headlines hailed Keanu's second coming as an action legend, an improbable feat at a time when many mid-career stars watch their action viability dwindle. Of course, relentless fight sequences come at a price. Approaching 60, Keanu has hinted that his knees, in particular, may not endure much more. He's acknowledged that his heart wants to keep going, but his body demands more caution. Fans and industry insiders clamor for a fifth John Wick film, but the actor remains non-committal, fueling speculation about whether the series can continue in its current form. Could the filmmakers dial back the punishing action? Or would that undermine the franchise's signature style? He's still attached to Ballerina, a John Wick spin-off starring Ana de Armas, where he'll provide a cameo bridging the spin-off to the main timeline. While it'll scratch the John Wick itch for fans, it won't fully answer the question, does Keanu have another full-tilt stunt-heavy installment left in him? Meanwhile, controversies lurk around the edges of his private life. Some point to Keanu's estranged father, whose drug-related charges and personal struggles occasionally surface in tabloids. Others fixate on Keanu's romantic life, spinning rumors about hush-hush engagements or unexpected breakups. He rarely addresses them directly, staying tight-lipped about personal matters, a habit likely born from years of seeing how the media can exploit even the smallest vulnerabilities. While he remains enigmatic regarding family and relationships, countless stories highlight his generous nature. From coverage of him eating snacks on a sidewalk with a homeless individual, to reports of him stopping on freeways to help stranded drivers, Keanu routinely shatters the stereotype of a distant, self-involved celebrity. Fellow actors share anecdotes of his kindness on set, praising how he greets every crew member by name, no matter their rank. During the Matrix sequels, he allegedly diverted a significant chunk of his own earnings, some claim as high as $75 million, to the special effects and costume teams, people he believed deserved more compensation for the franchise's success. He's also taken pay cuts on various projects if that money would help secure top-tier collaborators or enhance the overall production. If you ask him about it, he's apt to shrug it off. No big deal, just what felt right. Beyond that, Keanu rides public transit, mingles among everyday commuters, and quietly invests in philanthropic causes. He has a soft spot for children's hospitals, not only because of his sister's leukemia fight, but also due to a broader sense of empathy he's cultivated through his own losses. Anytime he's asked about giving, he sidesteps the question, as though shining too much light on his generosity cheapens it. For an industry so infatuated with spectacle, glitz, and self-congratulation, Keanu Reeves is the odd man out. He's neither lavish nor showy, keeps personal matters guarded, and seems entirely uninterested in the circus of celebrity culture. Fans fill the gap with memes and theories. Everything from Keanu is immortal jokes to conspiracies about how he never ages. The real magic may simply be that he's a man who sees beyond Hollywood's hype, shaped by real tragedies that taught him humility and compassion. His approach to fame stands in stark contrast to many top-tier stars. Instead of campaigning for the next grand project or flaunting wealth, he's more likely to be spotted on a quiet bike ride through LA or grabbing a casual coffee. The deeper one digs into his story, the clearer it becomes that survival, empathy, and a dedication to honest work form the bedrock of who he is. From the restless childhood of constant relocations to the heartbreak of losing dear friends, a daughter, and a partner, Keanu Reeves has faced an emotional onslaught that might have broken a more fragile spirit. Still, he emerges time and again, clutching the fire that drives him to take on punishing action films, champion indie directors, or stand by a sick loved one. His on-screen triumphs, from Bill and Ted to Neo in The Matrix and John Wick, have earned him pop culture immortality. Yet his off-screen humility, marked by quiet philanthropy and simple acts of kindness, remains the most astounding chapter in his story. Perhaps that's why the world watches with such fascination as he grapples with whether to return for a possible John Wick 5, a decision balancing his physical limits against his unyielding passion for the role. Whatever comes next, Keanu's life reminds us that the brightest spotlights can shine on people who've endured unimaginable grief. Through adversity, he's held fast to empathy, proving that compassion can exist, even in an arena often dominated by vanity and greed. In the end, the question isn't just whether he'll load the guns one more time, but how the legacy of his kindness will continue shaping the Hollywood landscape long after he stepped out of the frame. It's a promise he seems to fulfill in every quiet gesture and earnest performance, a silent assurance that, against all odds, decency can endure.